Hello everyone and welcome back to the Transport Fever 2 Mega Urban map, where we are building on a map which is highly urbanised and which is going to cause us definitely no issues whatsoever, apart from loads of them. In the last episode we got this train line set up here from Munium to, well, this junction here, which then branches up and down, which is actually really east and west because the map is oriented this way in terms of north, south, east, west. But it's going well, but the thing is, this is providing a lot of demand, and really the problem is that some of these places, like particularly Munium, should really have a more mainline connection to other places, but it doesn't. So that's what we're going to try to do in today's episode, and really I feel like the next few episodes we really want to finalise the passenger network. And in terms of by finalise, I mean like make sure we've got a train line to everywhere, because guess what, this is never going to be finalised, because then I want to focus on cargo, and guess what, once we focused on cargo the towns will have grown again and suddenly our passenger network won't be adequate. But I at least want to focus on it, and I want to finally go north out of Moneytown, and this could be a bit of a difficult train line to build, let's just say that. So can this be brought into a tunnel? Yes, we can bring this into a tunnel. Ooh, we're doing electrification now. You know what? Fine, do electrification now. Let's just do a tunnel for this as well. Ooh, that goes into a tunnel much sooner, and also these are invisible tunnels. We want visible tunnels. So I might just get rid of this road here, which is not great because it's a major road which goes across our city, but it's gonna just cause us issues. So I'm gonna start, basically I think the plan is to have it merge into 4 tunnels. Oh yeah, I can't merge that in there because it's already got enough tracks. Can that go in there? Yes. So that could go into there. And we can have tunnel number 4 of this one here, which once again goes into a tunnel even earlier. What happens if I just slightly raise that up? Yeah, that's fine actually, because then we are going to do that, make that merge in at the same time, and that can stay there. That can actually go into there, and then that can go into there. That one actually, yeah, I mean they all have a bit of junctioning, but really. And then these two are going to, I'd like them to cross over, but underground, thank you. There we go. And then, yeah, that'll do. And we would like a station in somewhere around here, but the question is where to put it, really. Because don't have any underground stations in this era. We could, I suppose, do a open cut one, and any other station design would be difficult. I mean, we could, for example, bring the tunnels through to here. So let's just do that. And then let's just do this down to here. We're going to keep it as 4 tracks for now. And then, how would a sunken station do, like here? And this road would be a bit of a problem. Also just the way fundamentally the tracks run in the tunnel. If we just pause and delete it precisely, this track here and this track here, could we get a station in? Yes we could, and it actually doesn't look too bad. What happens if we try to do 6 platforms? It's the main building that really gets in the way, so guess what, we can do that. I think that there actually works. And actually is not how we're going to do the track layout, I think. So, and that's just merged in actually. So what we actually want really is that to go to there, which means, oops, I didn't mean to delete that, but that's going to go to there. And that's going to go out to there. But then also, we're going to have a few tracks here and here. So, I'm not sure how well you can see all of this, but we're going to do the junctions a bit like this. We're actually going to get the middle line of each set of 3 to be a bypass line. And then the 2 outer ones will be platforms for stopping trains. And we can actually, I'm pretty sure, get this connected on the other side of the bridge, even though it literally just looks a bit weird, but yeah. So, now, slight thing here. I think I might actually just come back and see what can be done with this, because I think what can be done is to kind of get into a bridge, maybe, yeah, that works. There we go. That's quite steep on this end, but that works. Don't know why, it still kind of feels a bit weird that this tunnel goes in a bit earlier than the other 2, but whatever. So, we've then got 4 tunnels. These 2 have a crossover, so really what we're actually going to do is kind of like this track here approaches to stay on this side to then leave the station this way. This one's kind of going to come in and then kind of end up on this one probably. They're saying going to be coming in on this track here to go into some of these platforms. And then if you're coming in to leave this way, and then if you're coming in from this way, you'll then go out through this tunnel here. And there's a crossover here as well if necessary, and then they both, even without the crossover merge, can merge into the middle platform, which is a bypass one. Right, let's get proper tunnels, there we go. Right, so now, it's going to be interesting, because you'll notice this is now kind of pretty much slightly above where the ground level is here now. So this could get interesting again. Now what I'm thinking for these train lines here is essentially we're going to have a big station in Cashtopia, and at the station in Cashtopia I have no idea how I'm going to run the train lines, but what I do know is I'm pretty sure there will at least be some trains which are going to change direction, unless we do basically split the train line in 2, one kind of going in from this way, because I feel like it makes sense to have a line from Munium and then down to Munny-on-Sea. So might actually split it into 2 lines, one that merges up this way and one that curves around and merges in the other way. But still, whatever happens, we've got to work out this bit first. We could run them round here. We might just have to be a bit destructive here. And just kind of stick to running straight through the middle of all of this. So, let's just keep this as 3 for now. And then we have to bend this round a bit as well. I'm not going to keep this as 3 because then we can do the junctions once it's a little bit more straight. So, like we can do a junction. Let's do a bit higher speed cutting across. Well, maybe I think this road here, based on being right by the station, can get deleted, and then we can do something smooth here. Or is it that this one has to merge into this one? You know what? bye-bye to this track. This one can go into there. That one can go into there. There we go. And then this is going to do that. That's going to merge in. And then that can go through to there. There we go. We can have a crossover to allow kind of use of multiple platforms, to be honest, as well. But this is going to be a bit less generous because we're not going to default trains to using this crossover. This will be just for extra optionality for platform usage for the two actually used platforms. Like we could... Actually, this crossover does not have to be quite as close, because that's leaving the station anyway. We're doing right-hand running, so it's not a matter of kind of where we can place the first signal after the station. Right, so, or before the station rather, because that's actually more of an issue. Really, that can just go like that. There we go. So now we're going to have to get over this water. So do we go this way maybe? We might have to use the M key to raise it onto a bridge. Let's just kind of go this way. Yeah, because really the main line's going to bend into Cashtopia that way. But still, like, my main goal is maintain 75 mile an hour speed limit and then be do as little destruction as possible. So that's really kinda works. So we're then going to bend back round this way, and then we're going to do some sort of junction at some point. If we're coming into Cashtopia this way, at some point we're going to have to split two of these lines off, and really it just one from the right hand side and one from the left hand side, because it's like two lines in each direction. So let's do something like sink this one down for a bit. There we go. And then this can kind of bend off a bit while going straight up, and then bridge. There we go. That works. That might have to stick with 70 miles an hour at that point. Really, once that's over the other train line, it doesn't have to stay as a bridge. It might have to, because you've seen the terrain around here. Right. There we go. So really that track here, I'm going to redo that so that it merges onto here. That's nice. And this one here is going to have to curve around with this one. It's going this way anyway. Let's just get it the other side of the hill. I might actually even start this bending back the other way. Yeah, still not quite going to be able to merge into that one. But this is going to be a very not flat train line by the looks of things, just based on this. So let's get some powerful locomotives on whatever trains run down here. Right, so Cashtopia, I think we're going to do in that. How many platforms is that? 8. That doesn't actually, didn't we get something like that in here? Cashbury. Yeah, that's the exact station we got in Cashbury. Let's not copy it if it's a special design. Don't really want a terminus station. That's only 3 platforms, so really we're just going to have to go for something more generic. Well, it can still be cool if we want. Okay, so I feel like between 6 and 8 platforms, we're going to put it in this area here, mainly because less destruction and also quite central. We are going to About this design here. No, that's not what we want. That's probably what we want. Right. Platform length 240. I'm going to put 7 platforms maybe. Platform width 5. That's a standard one. And then... yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Just on platform level. And at the back we can have stairs from an underpass. You know, with an overpass. Does that look? No, that's nothing actually. There we go. Right, so we can't quite get it in without disrupting one of the 2 roads, which is kind of annoying. So let's just get rid of that one for now. Right, there's a building on both sides. That connects there. Right. So there we go. There's an entrance there. This thing gonna cross over right after the train station. Which hopefully, yeah, that looks fine for the height of the tracks. So, on this side here, we are going to make the right hand side, yeah, actually too much slope to make them run parallel, so yeah, that will do. There's a slight height difference, whatever. We can have these 3 tracks here. Yeah, so too much slope caused by the level crossing, so let's just do this. So we have these 3 platforms here for going round this way. Right, now we're going to have to make that go up a bit, which is, that's no way that's connecting there. Right, let's rethink this a bit. Maybe we'll have to do it slightly different, like not bend it off straight away. Let's actually take those 2 off. Okay, so let's have this one going out, this one going out, this one going out, and this one going out. So they're kind of our main lines. We could actually keep this one going out a bit as well. Well, that seems to have slope issues. We do it by default, so we can just do that instead. And that one can merge into there, the track like that, and then do that. And maybe also, if I'm feeling like it, do something like that. Right. Do something like that, maybe. There we go. Cross over there. Cross over there. There we go, too much. Yeah, he's kind of on a bit of a slope, so because the 2 tracks aren't fundamentally not on the same level because of the level crossing. So maybe we'll extend this further. We can just do something like this, and then keep this parallel until there, and then bring it to the level crossing point. And hopefully we can even like split it into 2, quite frankly, like that, to merge into there. And this track here is the one that's going to have to navigate around here. Yeah, it's fundamentally kind of a bit of a problem that it goes straight through there, so we're going to have to bring it out straight a little bit more. Let's make it not go all the way down. And then, how's this turn here? Okay, we're going to need to bring it straight a little bit more. Let's keep it going slightly down, because I think it does have to go down overall. And then, could now bring this a bit further this way. Just make the curve a bit more even. And then, yeah, that will do nicely. And then this here is going down towards money on sea. Now we could actually also get a curve of track to just go this way. And the reason for that is in case we have any trains just going straight from Moneytown to Money on Sea. A, we could have that for passenger trains, and B, even if we don't have that for passenger trains, we could very much have that for cargo trains. Right, this has got to come down a long way. And I mean a long way. So let's do a cool bridge like that. Bridge pillar collision, hang on. Do we have that maybe? Yeah, that's cool. It's much more cool than anything else. So yeah, let's get the same style of bridge. And yeah, that's good enough for the speed. I think it does go down to like 73 on that side, whatever. Right, and it's going to be a matter of then merging in there. Right, that's not a problem. That's good. So it's then there, and that heads down towards Money on Sea. Right, now this line here, we could do a couple of things with this actually, just thinking about it. Right, first of all, that's got to stay quite low here, and the reason for that is that it's not going to get over that train line there. Can't do the height, so it's got to get under, or stay under really. And then we're going up to fundamentally a town on the hill. So it would kind of be cool actually to have a station on this side of the town, like a 4-platform 160-metre station. If we make the outer modular platform, we can do that. We don't need a backside entrance, because fundamentally the town is, at least for now, only on one side of the station. Yeah, that's quite high, that there. So let's just do a road like this. And the station does serve a few people. Town might expand down this way. And the way we're going to do it is just like this. And the outer platform is going to be for stopping, because fundamentally that's just the way the tracks run. Right. So, now, this is now going to be the next challenge. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep these going out separately, and then between them we are going to get a tunnel. Length a bit short, and then we need to work out which way the turn goes. The turn goes whatever the opposite of negative is, which is positive. That's the opposite of negative, but only once it's underground. Mainly because it won't work if we do the turn before it goes underground. Right, there is the tunnel. I like how that's at a bit of a different elevation, because it might make this a bit difficult. Yeah, that was not great. So we might have to push it back a bit further. Up to there. Slightly less bad on the slope, and also got a bit more time for adjustment. And the weird thing, it adjusts it because it's going quite a lot up there. And does that. Whereas if we make it, it's going to be a lot less comfortable to ride if it suddenly goes like, yeah, that. But it's going to be a lot easier to put junctions in here, like, yeah, like that. Wow, that's not probably one. If we can't do it in one, we're going to want to do it this way round. Let's just do the same thing here as well, actually. There we go. And then at the same time, this can all start merging in, well, once that tunnel's clear. Okay, now I think, look at that, I think we might need a bit of a sharper turn in the tunnel. I was thinking don't make it too sharp, but I feel like train speed's not with priority, because fundamentally if it's got to get round to there, it's going to be quite a tight turn anyway. And that going to have to be some sort of tunnel, because we're not going to do a tunnel portal this end. If that doesn't actually need to come up that high. Right, yeah, like this maybe. There we go. That'll do. Oops, I feel like we're not going to do we could do a curve of track that to go up from here towards Moneyham, but fundamentally I think it's just going to be quicker for trains to run through the station, so use that, so we're not going to do that. So, let's just do our connections here, and then, right, so, this can go whatever angle's best for making it to ground level, right. So, what we can do is actually get a track to go like that. Which is a bit weird, but kind of works. Then like that, and then that can go off into there. That can go into there. And that can go into... Did we put a crossover on this end? Yes, we did actually. Not sure whether we'll actually need it or not, but let's have it anyway. And then between these two. Right, so. Well, that's not really playing ball, is it? Let's just do one like that. And then that. I need to come straight ahead a little bit more. And that can actually merge in, like there. And then that just... We'll keep it going like this a bit further, actually. And then we can bring it into Moneyham. And that's about as far as I kind of want to go in this episode. Because we've still got a load of trains to buy. And routes to set up. And we've still got to get to Money-on-Sea as well, I'm pretty sure. So... that can continue as this style of bridge, and you know what? This can be that sort of bridge as well. It's kind of a bit weird even. It stops being a bridge at all, but why not have some continuation? Right, there we go. So, that's that end of things. And then, you can have it like that. And like, I'd love to get a way to have these tracks merging into there. We could just do that, of course. There we go. So, just kind of gives the options, yeah. And this ends works well. We could even do a track like that. There we go. Probably won't actually use these crossover here, but whatever. So, Moneyham is connected, right? It's a matter of how we're going to do this train line here. So, you've got Money-on-Sea South, Money-on-Sea North, Money-in-Sea. Because, you know, it's kind of low-lying. It's on, well, it's almost an island. It's not quite. Whatever. Right. So, there's got to be somewhere here. Like, however many stations we have, there's probably going to be one major station. And I'm going to actually go custom, I think. So let's just start with this. And no main building. Right, so. Let's just start. Let's get rid of this house here. And let's start creating a station here. Right, so. This track here. I think it's got catenary on it. Ooh. No, hang on. Just go for tracks. Just our standard tracks. There we go. Yes, let's continue. Let's do this. So then, platforms. Just do this standard one here. And then we do another set of 2 tracks. And these two are actually going to go slightly further. And this one goes like this, and this one is going to go down to there. And then we're going to have a set of tracks here. And then we're going to have a platform. Which this one, because it starts there, is actually only going to go to here again, even though the track's going to continue. Actually, no, the track can not continue, actually. And then it's going to go like that. There we go. So we've got 3 through platforms, 4 terminating, because this is where a lot of trains are going to terminate. And then we're going to have a few going through to Money on Sea North, Money in Sea. Right, passenger buildings. What's a biggie? That maybe, or do we face it that way? I feel like it's better to face it that way. There we go, right, and then miscellaneous. Crucial thing would be an underpass, which we're going to have one there and one here. Actually, no, not one there, we're going to do one here and one there. So we have to leave that roof now. Right, talking of roofs, let's get a roof in. Over, at least as far as here on all the platforms. There we go. And that's going to be our station, which at the moment doesn't quite connect to anything. But we can make it connect by just... really these... We can do something like this, then goes up to there, then goes up to there, and then lets the tracks cross over. So, that is now fundamentally going to make this approach here a bit different. And then, this is going to... okay. Next thing's next, I guess. We are not coming down enough. Which could be a bit of a challenge considering we're going down as much as we possibly can here. So we might have to change our approach to be a little bit less direct. So that we can actually get some more distance to use to get down. There we go. That's what we're going to do. So we're going to use that. Because at this point here, within the tunnel, we're going to split off. And I know that's not very high speed, that split off there. But that's then going to be used to go down into this platform here. That's going to go across there, and that's going to go across there. We're not actually going to have crossover because I'm going to have one middle platform that's used to in case the other platforms are full, but other than that it's not really going to be used. And this is going to go off there, and then we're going to for crossover in the tunnel. We're actually going to delete then the bits in the middle. The reason for that is that fundamentally we won't need them because they're just switching sides. Essentially we're splitting off the tracks there. Right. And this platform here is getting a bit annoying. Right, hang on. Get rid of that there. Because hopefully that will allow us to do something like that. There we go. In fact, how long can we make that? Okay, as long as possible is good. Because we actually want them to merge out to the outside there, and then we can have in the tunnel, a tight crossover, and that encourages them. In the tunnel. That encourages them to use these where appropriate. Right, so. And then essentially from there, this line here is going to come out, and this is going to turn into a sort of suburban line. Through. So it's going to kind of bend this way. And then we're going to have another station here. I think fundamentally we might actually only have 160 metre long platforms here. Hang on. Let's just put this station here and then adjust the tracks going into it. From here, there we go. So that's going to go like that to Money on Sea North, and then it's going to go down to Money in Sea here, where we might have difficulty placing a station in. Let's put a station there, which I know has an end building, even though it could also have a side building, and we probably will put a side building in. Right, passenger buildings. I'm pretty sure the ones with this station pack would actually be able to fit in. Right, they can't. Right, MISC. Stairs, no. Okay, default game side entrance. Yes. Okay, let's do like that. That covers most of Money in Sea already. Right. Now, this could be an issue here with how we approach the station. Going through the water to the point where I'm bringing it down to single track. Just to go through this little bit here. And then it's going to go like that. So the junction into the station actually merges into single track, then splits again. Not the most efficient, but this is probably a not that busy suburban line, and that is, quite frankly, fine, and what is necessary to get through that without big terraforming work. And I don't really want to, because that's kind of the beauty of Money in Sea. It's kind of this untouched area. Right, that's a big bridge. Let's make it a cool thing. There we go. Well, we have a bridge. That's an opportunity to make something that looks cool. Right, so that's all our train lines we're going to set up for today. So, let's go back to Moneytown and set up signals. So, we have a signal here, and that really leads to signals here and here. Maybe a signal there. And then signals there, there, there. We can't really have signals before the platforms because that messes up the way it allocates platforms when you let it do multiple, as it chooses at the last signal before the station. If there's a signal on the platform, that doesn't work. It should do instead signals right after, except for this one. This one we can, if we're using it as a bypass line, put the signal there. Right, and then this one we're doing signals there and there. So we're going to do it here and here, as well as maybe here, because I can, maybe here as well. There we go. And then signals here and here, and then we might actually bring them to the same position here before we then have this, which, the way that splits off, there aren't any junctions needed because they can split around over here, and no track actually crosses any other tracks, so signal placement doesn't even need to be specific around there. And then we have signals up here, and then signal there, there, there. Whoops, wrong way, there, there. I'm using the British-based ones, but the right-hand side ones. So then this can have a signal there. That can actually have a signal there during the tunnel. There we go. Right, then we can approach from this way as well with the signals. Right, we can have signals there, and then there, 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 there. I just spotted a bridge with no bridge. We'll at least make it the same type of bridge, won't we? It's that one, right. So, which way do we go? We can just go from this junction here. That's an invisible tunnel. Let's give it a cool vibe. Just start signals again there. And then we just go onto the big bridge. And then kind of like that. There we go. radio signals. I do right now down here, and then here, here, here. Wrong way round. That's actually going to be there, isn't it? That signal. Right, then we can have that there, and that there. That's kind of it. Until that's there. And then I'm just going to do quite frequent signals in this bit. And then space them out a bit more, and then last signal there. There we go. That's all the signals done. So, how are we going to do our train lines? Well, this one here is going to Sin City from there. Feels like I'm going to make this run straight to Money on Sea South. So Moneytown Centre. It's actually already is on platform 10, which is good. This is going to run. We're actually going to make it stop at Moneytown North, I think. And then make it run to Money on Sea South. Use platform 4 by default, because this might have longer trains, and then those as optional, and they use the junctions correctly. So that's good. That then runs around there, and then back to Moneytown North, which, yeah, it fundamentally has got a crossover a bit. But then this one, what platforms can it use at? Well, let's have a stop here after Moneytown North on the way back. Probably should default to 5, but 6, 7, and 9, but not 8. Oh, yeah, that's weird. I should not allow that. I should not have it like that, actually. I should have this go into here. So that's not going to be 9, that's going to be 8. That makes more sense. And this one here, we can do it like that, actually, yeah. And then Moneytown North, each one, it can be 1 and 3 there, and 4 and 6 there. There we go, it just involves crossing over on that side there. So that's now Money on Sea to Moneyopolis. And that's going to need some more trains, but fundamentally it has trains right now. Even if it's not ideal. Kind of the things right. So, the one that goes up to here, Cashville. This one, I think, is going to Cashtopia South. I'm going to make this one do all stops to Money in Sea, basically, I think. So, Moneytown Centre platform. Well, actually, that's the way we can do it on the way back. Platform 5. For now, that can go into platform 10 by default again, though. Really, I think 8, 7, 6, I think it can go up to. And then this one, not 9 and 10, but that's going to be on us. So Moneytown Centre, Moneytown North, can vary it a bit and go for, platform 1 is actually what we need, 1 and 3. And then, no, platform 4. And then Cashtopia North, platform 2, with the option of 1 as well. And then this one 7 by default with the option of 6, and then there, and then Money in Sea. And then back the same way. This one here, 5 with the option of 6. And then Cashtopia North goes back through. 5's probably the best, with option of, no, not 5, 3. With the option of Cool. And then we're going to make it stop here, which will stop it trying to go back that way, and then four with the option of 6 as well. There we go, because that's actually one it would by default come into from that track. And then, yeah, we got it correct. So that's not money town to Cashville, that's money in C to Cashville, right. So now, one more line. Think about money town to dollar town in cities is stupidly long, so I'm actually going to make this one here suddenly transfer, it's going to stop at money town as well, right. 4 with option of whatever platforms, we'll come back and edit that, right. And then that's going to run up to Cashtopia North, which 7's probably the best default, with the option of 6. And then Moneyham. That'll do. For now, actually, let's just keep it to a 3 only. And then Cashtopia North is good, with the option of 6. Why is it doing that? Some default platform. Okay, we'll come back to Money Town Centre now. So, okay, so Money Town Centre, not 4, and then Money Town Centre this direction, not 1. I think that solves our issues. Okay, so yeah, that should. I mean, yeah, that's. So all 3 of the lines there have just been extended. I mean, they have got trains. They're going to be horribly out of position, but they have got trains. And then we might do another one from Moneyham as well. Platform 4, which is going to go down to Cashtopia Platform 1 with the option of 2. Let's just do it. And then for now, feel like this is just going to run to Money on C, 1 with the option of 2, 3, 4. That does not seem to be working because we put 6 as we got 6 as an option. That's why. And then that can go back to Cashtopia North, 4 with the option of 3 or 5, to be honest. Why not? And that goes back to there. You know what, at the same time, this one here, that one needs to go into the tunnel, it's this one here. Why not? Cashtopia North 14, why not make it be allowed to use that platform as well? Right, so that's not Money Town to Money Market, it's Moneyham. It's still technically a stopper, whatever. That's actually got quite a few people waiting there already. And then our new line is just Moneyham to Money on C. And currently a stop. I don't see anywhere, and that's not currently a stopper. Okay, right, got quite a lot of money. Let's have a new depot in this area here. Just so we got more localised ways of getting trains. Right, one thing I've noticed is we've done all of this with electric tracks. So, other than I am going to grade this here to be electric as far as we can go with these tracks here. It's actually upgraded to electric, like approaching the station there as well. That's quite common if you're upgrading to electrified tracks in real life, and that means that if there are electric locomotives, yeah, we can get an electric train. Running between Moneyham to Money on C, that's the one. That can get an electric train. Combined with this line here, we're going to want another train. Let's do just that. No idea where that new train has spawned. Is it? Which one's just come out of a depot? Where's a train that's just come out of a depot? Train 14. Ah, yeah. It's kind of not very well spaced out with that one, but whatever. I'll continue to get a few more trains on each of the lines where relevant. There we go, and then, yeah, because we're going to have big numbers of people building up. Right. This is very congested, and one thing I do realise about Moneytown, we've still only got one bus route, so let's, for the last thing that we do this episode, get another bus route in Moneytown. So, we're going to actually start on the same few stops here. Then we're going to go over this bridge, or on this bridge, to get over the river. And we're going to go into this area here. And we're going to stop here. Right, now. We can stop there as well. So cross over there. And then we're going to... That connects to the station. There. We can then kind of wiggle our way up this way. And then, so it goes round there. And then down to there. That's also very congested with traffic. And then this can go down this road here, which is quite congested, but we'll be fine. To get into Moneytown West, where we will then just do a loop here, and they can, actually no, we won't do a loop here, they can go down to the end of the island. There we go. And they can transfer to this line, they're within walking distance, right. So, build the line and all stops will adjust to be on the correct side, which is the right side in this game. It's not even an option for left-hand traffic. So we'll run through some quite congested parts of the city, which might make it get held up, but that's not going to stop me building the bus line. And the reason for that is I might actually make it terminate over here. So we'll just stop there. And then a stop there. Why not? So after 23, make it go round there. And then back down, and then continue around here. There we go. So yeah, at this point we're just bringing it back the same way. Lots of Victoria Road and Victoria Street. All the bus stop names in this game seem to repeat themselves quite a lot. Anyway, this should hopefully supplement the other bus route and provide options for more people to get around. So, that's Moneytown Bus 2, and hopefully might ease traffic congestion a bit. Right, where's a road depot? How many buses can I buy? Might seem ridiculous. Let's get 60 to start off with. And they will get a bit bunched up. They'll get spread out because of traffic congestion. Hopefully. Well, hopefully we won't actually have any traffic congestion, but second best scenario is that we do have traffic congestion, it spreads them out. Thinking this one, I would rather it on the way from Cashtopia North 14 use the middle track here. That's a bypass line. Whoops, that's not what I intended to do. I intended to select the signal here, which would run it through here. There we go. This is definitely going to need another train. Oh yeah, not enough money, that thing. Money. You know, the stuff you use to buy items with, or trains, or get out of debt with. Right, so Yeah, not that full. I think we have done quite a lot of capacity upgrades, yeah. Just to see. How's the electric train doing? So in fact, it's not quite as quick as the other ones because it's the locomotive that's the limit on the speed. But, whatever. That's the other train. That should hopefully actually have a little bit of pressure removed from it. Middleton, this line will be busy as well. So when we've got more money, which will probably at this point be between episodes, I will go through the lines and add more vehicles where necessary. I've just realised I've forgotten to do the stops here. There we go. Done. So, yeah, I think I will adjust stuff between episodes as I always do. But yeah, for now, thanks for watching and we'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye.